Ever been in a meeting, a pitch, or even a casual conversation and walked away thinking, I could have said that better? Maybe your idea was solid, but it didn't land. Maybe the timing was off. Maybe you had the right intention, but the wrong ordering of ideas. That feeling, that regret, isn't just about language, it's about rhetoric. Rhetoric is the ancient art of making your ideas not just heard, but felt and adopted. It's not manipulation, it's not decoration. It is the ability to build clarity, structure your thoughts, and deliver them in a way that moves people. And my mission in this video is to motivate you to start thinking seriously about this art, the art of rhetoric, and without changing your mind, I want to bring back that yellowish, fading image of ancient Greek philosophers and defend the idea that rhetoric is not a fading art, that it still holds relevance in today's world. In fact, we've never needed it more than we do now. I also distinguish challenges that could be met in the process of practicing rhetoric, and these challenges are very much different for native speakers and non-native speakers. Welcome, I'm Rylan Vaughn. Non-native speakers are often exposed to content that motivates them to learn the language and speak it fluently. But they are far less exposed to tools that elevate their ability to lead, change, and communicate with confidence. And rhetoric is one of those tools. Often dismissed as some prehistoric discipline, it is either seen as irrelevant today or as some geeky magic trick for manipulating the masses. But the truth is that even native speakers struggle with persuasion, with structuring ideas, or using rhetorical devices effectively. So, whether you're a native speaker or not, you need to build a palette of tools to accomplish your mission, to defend your cause, and make your words count. In short, when you learn rhetoric, you learn to communicate and make speeches that actually impact reality. You learn to contribute actively. And non-native speakers, whether in English, French, Chinese, or any other language, face challenges that natives often don't. I have compiled some of these challenges. I'm going to be starting with the limited vocabulary. So one challenge we often overlook, even as fluent speakers, is vocabulary. Limited one does not just limit your words, it limits your world. It makes it harder to express subtle ideas, to touch emotions, or to land a persuasive nuance, and rhetoric lives exactly there, in nuance. The second challenge is the fear of grammatical mistakes. The fear of making a grammatical mistakes is real, and it doesn't just sit in your head. It shows up in your voice. It slows you down and makes you second guess every sentence and robs you of that natural flow. Confidence drops, spontaneity vanishes, and the message gets lost in hesitation. The third challenge that I've compiled for this video is the problem of pronunciation and accent issues. They're not just sounds, they are signals, and when those signals aren't clear, the message stutters and misunderstandings happen. You repeat yourself, you overthink, and worst of all, you start shrinking into self-consciousness even when what you have to say is brilliant. I call these your rhetorical enemies, barriers standing between you and the change you want to create. Whether you're trying to influence friends, family, or pitch to a room full of investors, rhetoric takes on many forms depending on the setting. And while part of the challenge is language, most of it isn't. The real challenge is being clear about your position, structuring your message, making it resonate, and delivering it with style. That's why I invite you to subscribe, because I publish in campaigns and series diving deep into this topic, discovering it together, how to master it, how to master the art of rhetoric, and put it into practice and accomplish your missions. So let's begin with two foundational concepts in rhetoric: discourse and persuasion. A discourse can be any form of communication, spoken or written, as well as symbols exchanged in any context, like books, newspapers, films, websites, music, or even GPT prompt. And persuasion happens when someone convinces you of something. It can be dramatic, being moved to tears, or action by a speech, or subtle, like being influenced by marketing advertisement or political ideology. Rhetoric ties these two together. Now, I'm going to be moving into the origins of rhetoric. Of course, humans were influencing each other long before rhetoric had a name. But at some point, people started asking, how does this actually work and how can we do it better? So the term rhetoric originated in Athens, Greece, around the 5th century BC. And at the time, Athens was a vibrant city-state experimenting with a new idea, which is democracy, ruled by the demos. And demos is the Greek for the people. With no kings to settle disputes, they needed new ways to make decisions together. They built institutions, juries, senates, and forums. But with no printing presses or mass media, the key tool of influence was speech. To navigate these new spaces, Athenians needed to speak well. That's where a group of Sicilian wanderers came in, which are the sophists. And the name comes from Sophia, Greek for wisdom, and sophists were the original consultants, teaching Athenians how to win arguments in court, persuade in public, and influence policy. But not everyone trusted them. Some feared persuasive skills could let lies triumph over truth. Plato, the philosopher, was deeply skeptical. He saw rhetoric as a bag of tricks with no moral compass, a way to win arguments without being right. He saw that rhetoric was a disconnected set of techniques without essential ethical concern or philosophical system. And for Plato, rhetoric was dangerous because it didn't have the rigor of a scientific enterprise or the critical quality of a philosophical endeavor. Rather, it was a group of random techniques that helped those in the wrong win support for their cause. But Aristotle, Plato's student, disagreed. He saw that rhetoric as a systematic study, an art and a science of persuasion. He made three big claims. Rhetoric is a coherent field of inquiry. It is not just tricks. It has logic and purpose. Rhetoric and logic are complementary, and logic needs persuasion to be effective, and persuasion needs logic to be valid. He also defined three rhetorical appeals: logos, ethos, and pathos. So logos is for logic and reason, ethos refers to the speaker's credibility, and pathos refers to the emotional connection with the audience. Whether or not you fully agree with Aristotle's framework, it shaped how we study communication. He proved that persuasion can be analyzed, taught, and practiced ethically. Fast forward to today. We still need to communicate our ideas. We still need to defend them, whether we are talking to colleagues, friends, or even to AI systems. Rhetoric always matters. In economic and financial discussions, for example, the rhetoric is different. We might need to inform, to influence, or to clarify, depending on the moment. In contrast, defending a social cause requires a whole different set of rhetorical tools. That's why I believe each speaker carries a unique rhetorical algorithm, a fingerprint shaped by their topic, their intent, and their audience. And in the near future, we might even develop new forms of rhetoric to speak more effectively with AI, to guide it towards human outcomes with precision and intent. This is just the beginning. So this video is part of a broader series where I'll go deeper into rhetoric and its role in economic communication and more. So if this resonates, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next one.